Wow. Well, it's been a crazy, crazy time. But I think it's just lovely initially to get this award because it's recognition for all of the dietitians out there who were working in critical care, but also on the wards, in the community. I think we're often the unsung heroes. And so this is really nice chance for us to celebrate, really. It's something positive to come out of a very negative experience for all of us. And for many of us, we're still living through it. We're going through the second surge as we are now. So it does feel a bit like never ending, but I'm sure this time next year we'll be in a very different place. Yeah, well, we were hit really badly, as I'm sure people have seen from the ICNAR statistics, that South London was had the highest incidence of ICU patients, and I happen to be working in one of the largest teaching hospitals there. So I think in 3 months we saw 250 intubated patients in our ICU. So it was pretty crazy times. We normally have 3 large ICUs, and at the peak we were operating 7. So it was very, very busy times. We had at least 12 dietitians that came from other areas that were redeployed to work into critical care. So for me personally, not only was I trying to provide a dietetic service myself to these patients, I was also fundamental in training up and supporting every day a group of dietitians. Yeah, I mean, that was crazy times, I think. And fortunately for the critical care group, we use Basecamp, which is a communication board, online message board. And very, very quickly, our members were posting frantically about how do we feed patients in the prone position, what should we do about bolus feeding if we run out of pumps, and people were asking really very quickly for lots of practical advice. And so as the chair of the group, I felt, right, we need to step up. I needed to galvanize the committee together so that we could respond to our members' needs and get guidelines out there. But obviously, to be able to do this, we needed to be working over and above the hours that we were putting in our clinical jobs. So I would probably be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would be having doing work for 2 hours before I went to work, speaking very, very frequently to members of the BDA and also to the committee members. And I would go and do my day's work, and then I would come home, have something to eat, and then crack on again, doing work in the evening. And then I was doing that all weekend. And so it was a pretty relentless time for me, particularly as I got COVID myself and really struggled quite a lot with that, and had lots of problems with my blood pressure being very low and problems with my heart rate. And I actually ended up in ICU myself for a period of time, very short period of time, but not only was I dealing with it as a dietitian, I actually was a patient as well. Yeah, when I reflect back on it, I didn't know I was mentally as strong and had as much resilience as I did to be able to bounce back time after time and to keep going. But I really, really couldn't have done it without lots of people supporting me. And this award isn't just for me, it's for everybody out there. And this really was a team sport, really. We all pulled together. From all the dietitians that I work with at St George's, they all know who they are. My absolutely fantastic boss, who just stood up and mucked in, helped us, was in there with PPE, and she was so supportive of everything that I did and so encouraging on every step of the way. and giving me the time to, you know, do things like this. So I couldn't have done this without my wonderful colleagues at St George's. I love them all madly. And I equally love every one of the critical care specialist group committee who have just worked tirelessly as much as I have, and they're the unsung heroes, because you know they didn't get this award and I did, because I was the identifiable lead, I suppose. But they all know who they are, and I have thanked them all personally. We couldn't have done this together, you know, without each other. We did it together. We stood strong. We've all been through difficult times and come out the other end. So thank you to all of them. There's just so many people I want to say thank you to, but I don't think I have time to. But those who are close to me know how much I appreciate everything they did for me.